Yes, we should be live. Hopefully soon. Alright, so hi everybody. I hope you're doing well. Hi, and yeah, welcome to this new Juno live. Funny, it's already the fifth one, so yeah, we keep good the pace, so it's great. So before we jumping today in the make a programming part, I was thinking that given that I released a new version yesterday evening, we can take the time to go through what's new in this release, right? And as always, anytime if you have questions and so on, you just ping me, right? Awesome. And if there is any technical issue also, please scream. All right, so when I do when I create a release on of Juno, I always try to be a bit descriptive and like to have a brief summary, an overview of what changed, and then I try to list basically what were the change. So my idea is that we go through that. So in summary, there weren't like crazy new big features in this release, even though there was like many commits. And from my perspective, one thing which was really nice is we finally removed the FX from the whole code base. So now when we develop Juno itself, it used the same tooling as when you develop on Juno. So like the local developer environment is based with the Docker file. So if we check out the Docker project, you see here that that project actually generate an image, which is the one you use when you develop locally with Juno, but it also generates a console, which is the one you see let's download that I use to develop or anyone who wants to contribute to the console. Okay. So in terms of smart contract, I've released the console, but it's mostly front-end changes. There were a few back-end changes, but mostly to adapt the creates. And there was changes in the satellites. There were breaking changes, but it's just because there was like one function that was called setConfig, which has now been renamed to setStorageConfig. So it's not like a big change, but yeah, still a breaking change. Those are always the crates that are used by your satellites. I can show you. Close this, close that, and zoom. This. So you see that's the satellites you get when you actually I should use rest rover, that's gonna be more better. Sorry for that. I'm gonna zoom too. So the satellites you get actually in Juno uses all the scripts. So there is like one that provides some utilities for the serverless function. There is one shared which are like tools that are used everywhere in the code base. There is the storage, which is really like just the storage part of your satellites. There is the satellite itself, which contains the storage, the data store, everything which has to do with controller, the authentication, and so on. Macros are used for serverless function, and collection is the crate that is used to when you create new collection. All right. I've mapped all the the library, but mostly because I have to adapt for the new function, and also because I bump agent.js, which is used in it, and likewise for the CLI and so on and so on. So, as I said, the console in the backend, not that much changes. In the front end, we had following change. So if I jump in my personal thing, so if we go, for example, to this project, so one thing that is new, maybe you already see it, is like in the function, you can now see if your project has generated errors. You can also, if you use serverless function, you can also log more info and so on, but here you're gonna have like the error. So yeah, so for example here, I take another project, I go here, and I see that I don't have error for that particular project. Yeah, that's really, really convenient. I was missing that every time I do a workshop. In the storage and in the data store, if you select a collection, in the menu, you're gonna have a new option, reload, which is convenient, and it reloads, well, all the content of that particular page of your collection. Before, I always had to click here and then click there, and yeah, that was painful. So there is a new reload option for both data store and storage. Then, yeah, that was a function that was often requested. We have a new function to edit entries in the data store. So let me go to that project. So here you see that's a developer or a test app I use for to test when I release a new version of Juno. So if I sign in, maybe see here I just have like a dumb counter, right? So this is saved in the data store. I have a counter, and here for each user I have a value, okay? And it was often requested to have the ability to be able to change those values. So the first idea was to build like a blown UI so that you can edit it, but I was thinking that it would take quite some time to build a UI, and at the end of the day, we are all developers, and it's easier to make that with our own editor. So what you can do now is here you have download document and replace document. So let's just say that we want to bump that to 20. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna download the document. I save it somewhere, like here. And then, can I do that? Yeah. Then here I get the JSON file, change the value, and I go back here and I do replace document. And here I select the entry and I do replace. So here it's not yet super user friendly because it reloads everything, but here you see now I have 20 and the version has gone up. And here if I do a reload, I have the 20 now, right? And then I can go on. So yeah, that's convenient. And I also added the fact that maybe you don't just want to replace things, maybe you also want to create document. So what you can do is here on the collection pane, you have create a document. It's the same, then you select a file for the content. So that's the JSON part. Then you can generate a key. So either you enter your key, or here there is like a small int to generate a nano ID. There is a description which is still optional, and to create, and then you have your document that is created. Of course, when you create the document, then the document here, the owner is actually you, the developer that is logged in the console. You see here that's OUDKG, same, right? So you cannot create a document for a user. There is still like some, I mean, it makes sense that it's the user that first should create the entry. So yeah, that was great. And I don't know if I have here a collection, no, but we can create one just for testing purpose, I guess. So let's say that if in that project I would have like an images collection, yeah, it's typical. Yeah. So same thing here. If I go to images, just gonna take a screenshot here quickly, like that. It here, call it demo. If I go here, I have an upload file, and I can select a file and upload it. It should work. Let's see. I've uploaded the file, right? And here, the same way, you have replace file, and you have also delete if you wish to. Just gonna put so that no one is putting things here. One thing that you have to know here is that if you want to, where do I have that? I don't have it. If you want to enter a big int in that JSON data, you cannot just write here n or big int 20, because that's not standard. You know, like it's not supported. If we look here, if we do, let's see, because if we go const, or let's do const mp, here I got like a big int, right? If I do a JSON string ify, JSON string, oh, super, string ify, the TMP, that's give me an error because big int is not serializable. So if you want to introduce a big int here, what you do is actually Juno do that for you. So what you do is like here you enter actually an object with the key big int, and here I think, let me check, I think 2 seconds, I have to check my big int. I don't know where to document that, and we're gonna use a string. So here you're gonna have like 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and where were we? Here, huh? And here, if I replace, yes, if I replace then it's a valid valid. Did I did demo? All right. And yeah, it's the same if you want to use a principal. Let's say you want to give a reference to the user. You're gonna do something like user, and here you're gonna do also this with principal, and that's really specific to what we do here. And here you give the principal as text. So let's just let's just take this principal as text. All right, and here then you have what you need. All right. Okay. If there is no question, let's continue the here that was an input from bicycle. So that he said that the stop explanation were not that clear here. So I tried to be a bit more verbose, and we added the fact that if it stops, it still consumes cycles for the space that it occupies, and also explaining that it's deleted after some times when there is no more cycles. Okay. It's not beautiful. I probably improve that. I think I displayed that last time, but yeah. So here I added like a link so that you can directly open your satellite without the need to go to the hosting. If we check, like when you have a custom domain, it's handy because here you directly have the URL. It just picked for right now. I just picked the first one, so like the first custom domain. That's why here I got www and not ICDraw. We can iterate if we want, but I think it's handy. That's a small number formatting change. Ah, yeah. So that's kind of cool. On the IC, there is a new matrix that gives you the amounts of queries your smart contracts made. So, for example, here we see that ICDraw has got 15K query calls. That's billion of instruction. Yeah, billion. Yeah, billion, I think. And that corresponds to 600 mega of responses. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of like funny stats. For example, we noticed that the Juno website has received 500,000 query calls since it exists, and he already responded with 9 giga of responses. Yeah, I mean, it's like it's fun metrics. And the thing is, like, every change I made in this pane is available in every satellites, of course, but also if you go to your I'm gonna go here. If you go to your mission control, you also have that, you see. And if you go to your analytics in the settings, you also have there's inform. Where do I put that? Ah, here. In overview, you also have this information, right? Yeah, a bit less calls, but nice. Okay. And then we have this. We had a look at this option last week, right? So in the settings now, you have the freezing threshold option, an option to set the heap memory limit and reserved cycle limit and so on. And here in edit settings, you can change this value. And I obviously added those settings in the documentation. In miscellaneous settings, you're gonna find a bit of explanation. Yeah, I hope that I try to add some example that that says something in English. Yeah, I hope it helps. Make these editables for any modules, and yeah, so change it a bit the structure. So now it's all like the mission control, the analytics, and so on. They all have that overview and the insights with the query, the monitoring, and the settings. First the settings and then the controllers. Right, so that's a small error, blah blah blah. And yeah, in terms of satellites itself, there is a new option to list documents and assets with update and created at. So do I have that somewhere? If we, so here I just got a small examples. Let me update the library. Is anyone has question? No, right. Okay, so if I go to, I got probably a list docs somewhere. Yes. So here in the filters, you have the matcher, and in the matcher, you have now optionally created at and updated at, right? And those, how does that work? So either you provide an equal, so you have like matcher equal, and you say the timestamp should be equal to this, or you have greater than, and then it takes all the timestamp that are greater than that. You have less than, and you have also between, and if you specify between, you can say the timestamp should be start here and here, right? Oops. No, that's my fault. It's begin. All right, hoopla. Okay. So yeah, that's new, and you have that for created at and updated at. And yeah, there is a new max memory size option, which is currently only available in the configuration. So do I have it config here? Yes. No. Oh, that's old. Let's take another project. The more project there is, the more beautiful it is. So let's just update that one. That's where I got the types. So last week we added the settings, blah blah blah. So if we look at that now, here I can configure my storage. I'm in the Juno config file, and here there is like a new max memory size option. So that max memory size option, if you provide that, you can say, for example, on the heap, I want that's in bytes. So if you want like 1 giga, you have to, or more, you have to put that. I think it's a big int too. All right. You can say, okay, the storage accept on the heap as much data as that, but then when that limit is reached, any upload of new assets will fail. The satellites will work normally, but it fails after that limit. And the same for the stable memory. Or you can say, okay, I can accept as much, and then it starts to fill. And since I did that for the storage, you also now have that for the data store, where here you can add the same configuration. Okay? And yeah, of course, when you have done your configuration, then you go in your editor, in your terminal, and you run Juno config, right? Okay. And of course, this has all been documented. So if we go to the doc, build data store. So if we take the list document, what I told you about the equal, greater than, timestamp, blah, 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 you're gonna find that here. And at the end, you're gonna find configuration with the max memory size documentation. And if you go to storage, you have the same. If you go to list, you're gonna have the list timestamp matcher, blah, blah, blah. And at the end, you're gonna have also the configuration for the maximum max size. And here you have a reference to the hosting, because all those hosting, like HTTP headers and so on, are documented in the hosting section. Right. Yeah, that's a bit of cleanup for the other Juno live we are made. That's a key, and yeah, so that's basically it. Yeah, like I said, not a crazy big release, but kind of really handy features. And let me know how the that function here goes out. If you need more fine tuning or whatever, please let me know. By the way, I'm gonna delete that since I'm already there. All right, cool. So I guess we are fine here. So we're gonna continue with our Juno calendar project. So I close that, close this. Okay, and this and this stack. So do I make here? Okay, so open source Juno calendar. That's our project, right? And we were here. Tuk. So we had not where we were staying last week, where you can not yet up. Yeah. I should add something in the CLI that starts Docker automatically. That's so big. All right. So we have that stuff here, right? Where we did last week, the things where I can share an URL, and then I send that URL to my friend, and my friend see this. So maybe the first thing we can do is we can update our dependencies, right? So what I do is I use that tools to update everything, and then I cherry pick what I want. So I don't want that. And I don't know what it is, but I should probably remove that. And that was not a good idea. What's happening here? It does. Sorry. Let me do it again. So let's install the dependency. Let's remove that stuff. All right. Okay. And now we're gonna do update that. So that's the file we need to start and deploy Juno, right? And we gonna install the last version of Corpir. All right, so and I noticed that I was probably drunk when I set up that project, because that's another library that is correctly set. All right, so do I have something else that is wrong? No, it's a bit cleaner. And just for move static as dev dependency, right? And I'm just gonna do that for no reason other than cosmetic one. All right, and we are back on track, right? So I was thinking that, no question, super. Yeah, it would be nice to directly, even though we don't want to mess around with the UI, since we want to, where did we document that? Here? Isidro? No, Isidro? Yeah, we want to create potential events that have potential dates. So even though we don't want to go crazy in the UI, maybe it would be good to have that like with 2 or 3 dates so that we can be a bit closer to the real use case, right? So even though that's gonna be super, what's that? Ah, that's why they ask it for globals. It's ESLint. Ah, funny. Okay, that's weird. Why did you do that? Ah, did you know that? I didn't know. Okay, good. Then I reinstalled that stuff. If you okay, 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 okay. Okay, I gonna restart so that Webstorm pixie that. Okay, where are we? So it's not gonna be like beautiful, but let's just duplicate those so that we have. So select date, and then what's that stuff? Okay, so we're gonna do that is just gonna duplicate things, and that's gonna be ugly, doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm gonna do this, gonna come select date 1, and this gonna come select date 1. All right, and then we're gonna do the same, because let's get ugly. Let's get 2, 2, 2, right? And just so that we have two dates when we do stuff, right? Blah blah blah, select dates, and then we put just another. So yeah, it's gonna be a P before just one. Select two, right? And it's gonna be two. All right, just so that we have two dates, and here we put one date, and here just so that we had two dates. Okay, and then here in the, I guess somewhere we have a list doc, right? Blah 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 blah. Event here, display date. Okay, so what we gonna do? We gonna do. Oh, I always forget. So how does that work again? As, okay, as date, and here we're gonna put this one there, and that we gonna, yeah, it's pretty ugly, but oh. Flex. Here, just let's put, yeah, it's not beautiful, but and here we're gonna do a class flex and flex color. Wow, so super, right? Okay, so we know that this one has two dates, and if I share the link, yeah, all right, okay. And now what we want to do. When I share the link to someone, so here I gonna sign in with another user, all right? Funny. All right, so that's not good. Why? Why did we do so? We have read that is public, so that when I sign in, I get all the. That's a bit a pity. It's a bit a pity. I don't want to have everything when I sign in here as a user that should be empty, right? So okay, so here if this should be empty now. Yeah, exactly. And if I sign in with the first user, then I should have it, right? However, when I share a link, so I send the link to my friend to ask my friend, hey, can you join one of this party? Then yeah, I don't know why we have one here. That's a good question. So where were we? So public route, event, page. Here we have get doc. So yeah, I get the doc from the events. And what do I get here? Console product. What did it return? And define it, yeah. So, and here, it's just that that's funny. Ah, yeah, it's because, life is hard. For now, let's just do that, huh? All right, okay. Okay. So, it means that we need two columns, actually. Yeah. Yes, yes. Yes, 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 yes. So, no, 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 no. No, it's correct that it's public. The only thing is like, yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's public, but I'm the only one that can change those. So that's correct. But what's not correct is that in the list I should scope. So here now I'm gonna have the event, right? So where is the oh yeah, there is no logout button here. Here in that particular screen, I should scope the list because since it's public, it gives me the list of everything. So that means that did we have a filter for that or something? Filter, I guess. Owner is me, and me is the user store. Get principal. Okay, yeah, sounds good. Ah, let's do. Yeah, I know it cannot be empty here, but let's do that then. Yeah, no, it's not the proper way to handle errors, but anyway. So here, I don't have those, but now if I sign in with this one, super, okay? So it's still public, but we request those of the particular user. All right. Okay. Okay. Top. So I I'm gonna work with two. It's gonna be easier. So I send the link to my friend. Okay. Now we want to have the date with checkbox so that I can select, because I'm the friend, I can select which event I can attend, right? This means that in this page, in the document, we have an array. Yes. So flex, 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 span, span. So that's a row, right? So for each date, this one. So for each date, we want a row, and I'm not sure anymore if I can do that. Can I do that? So, and here we want to have the, so that's we, again, it's not like, it's not production ready code, huh? Okay, so here. Okay, so here I got the first date, here I got the first date, and then we gonna add a checkbox. So why do we have so much? Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, it's really important, like the spacing. All right. So we want a checkbox to add a checkbox for heat stuff. Uh, I have for sure a checkbox in the Juno code, so I don't want to reinvent the wheel. So somewhere here, I guess I got a checkbox. Yeah, here. So it's like this in, okay, so span, div, save, whatever. And we're gonna add a div, which is the checkbox. And okay, so we gonna need, it's an array of object, and each date we say if it's checked or not checked, I guess. Does it gonna work? We have something like potential dates, huh? And those gonna be an array of date and attend, checked, selected, boolean defined per default. And here, when we have loaded the event, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take those and we're gonna map. So here we have a date, and we're gonna call date, and check it, gonna be false per default, right? Okay. Yeah, but okay. All right. And so here, like this, and then here, that's gonna be date and checked. Ooh, I'm not. Ooh, no, that sounds bad. So that's good here. What? Okay, just to see if we are really far away. Ah, okay. And now we don't want, we probably want on change, I guess. Super, super. So what we want is each time on select date, I guess, huh? Right? Basically, we each time I click here, I want to toggle the corresponding checked element, right? So yeah, so what I'm gonna do is here on selected date, it's really naive code, but let's do that. And toggle, and we're gonna toggle this one, right? So here we're gonna have like okay. So here each time I move something, it's like potential date becomes potential date filter. So here I'm gonna have the date, and what I'm interested in is this one. So we want date.getTime gonna be different. The right different at this one, and we add an object which is date selected date, and checked becomes checked. All right, so that way every time I click, the whole object that contains the selected date change. Okay, great. All right, that's good. So I'm just gonna add pseudocode so that next week we know where to continue. So what we're gonna do next week is we're gonna need a collection or entity where to save the user choice, right? Because once I've done that, we want to, yeah, of course it's ugly, but we want to save that somewhere. Here we want to submit to save those choices. And then we want to display the potential attendees per date for the one that created the event. So basically here, if I'm gonna say I can participate here, I cannot participate here, submit, then save, and then on the one that did that here, we're gonna display for that day there is one person, for that day there is two person. Tac tac tac, collection, submit, same chose. Side quest. do we want to make this public? Do we want user to create a profile, sign in with authentication, and we probably want to provide a username or surname for the entry. Okay, okay. Yeah, it takes more time, but we slowly get there. All right. Um, that's already it for today. So if you have any question, please let me know. You can always join and ping me also on Discord or whatever, Twitter and so on. Thanks for joining the call and enjoy your week. Bye bye.